Network Entertainment.
It's funny kasi 20 or so years ago, 25 years ago, diba? He was siya yung tuta ni Vince nung Attitude Era. So it's interesting and also fitting na rin na The Rock is the guy to continue that legacy of being the boss. So I want to ask you, is this something we need for the Cody story? Kasi I feel like, yeah, kasi it now also makes Cody this generation Steve Austin.
Who's ready for story time?
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Let me talk to you.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Run!
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Czar, the NXT champion, and you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening. And you are listening.
And you're listening
To the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
to the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
You are now listening to the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. It's your boy Ro and Emile joining you today on a weekend reactions episode. Hindi pa namin sure kung diretso namin to picks of the week. But no Chino, no Rowan ASH, no Stan because he's preparing for the biggest week of his life. So kami muna. And it's a big weekend as well. We've got a big pay-per-view from AEW and a big moment to come with it. So maraming ganap, maraming pag-uusapan. But before we go into that, let's get into it really quickly. WrestleMania 40 viewing party. Let's go. We're doing it big. We're doing it in two venues, both Hobby Stadium and Skinny Mike Sports Bar in BGC. Hobby Stadium is in New Manila, Quezon City as well. Same prices, same day, same time. Sabay-sabay natin gagawin. Chino and Rowan will be manning the Hobby Stadium branch while myself and hopefully Emile.
Yes,
Hopefully.
I am confirming it kasi I'm traveling to Manila this Thursday. So madaming ganap. In the next 2 months, I'll be in Manila. There's a lot of things that's going to go down. So I'll be there at WrestleMania.
Yeah, so kami nasa Skinny Mike's BGC and we'll be handling both days. Both days will be starting at 7 a.m. That's the main show. So we'll open doors at 6 a.m. Got to be earlier than that. We'll be earlier than that because it's a big event. Umaga siya. We're back to the normal quote unquote PLE start times here in the Philippines. So again, all you got to do is head on over. We're still doing early bird tickets. tinyurl.com/WrestleMania40PH. Let me check that real quickly. tinyurl.com/WrestleMania40PH. Everything you need to know is over there. Tickets are available at $350 for 1 day. If you can't commit to 2 days, but if you are able to commit to 2 days, it is 600 pesos for a 2-day pass. Pero that is not cross venue. If you buy a 2-day pass for Skinny Mike's, dapat sa Skinny Mike's ka lang. And if you buy one for Hobby Stadium, sa Hobby Stadium ka lang. As much as we would want to, make it easier for everyone, this is the first time we're doing it kasi this way, so we have to make it a little simpler for our accounting. That's the real reason. We'll be there. Syempre, we'll be watching the show together. We will have prizes as well from our partners, from Everybody's Toys and Collectibles. They're sponsoring a raffle prize. We also have Hobby Dainzy from Geek Talk PH. He'll be sponsoring a couple of prizes as well for both days. So guys, punta na kayo. May libreng ice tea, may libre pang papremyo if you win the raffle. Again, tinyurl.com/WrestleMania40PH. I forgot to say the date. It is Sunday, April 6th. Yeah, Sunday, April 7th, 2024, and Monday, April 8th, 2024. So mag-file na kayo ng leave if you have to, because we're going back to we're going back to a Monday PLE kasi 2 days siya. So we'll see you guys there. You have until Wednesday night, 11:59 p.m., April 3, 2024, to avail of the early bird passes. We will not be selling the 2-day pass to walk in kasi medyo hassle, medyo complicated pa yun. We're still figuring it out. So if you miss the early bird selling, you will have to buy a 1-day pass at the door. Especially if you know, even if you go for both days. So we're test running this, so we apologize for any inconvenience. But once we get it down pat, in future events, we'll make sure to make the process better. We'll make it more convenient for everyone. So we'll see you guys there. So I'll have some fun. It's the biggest show of the year. And let's all get together and kick off the summer the best way possible and finish the story. Diba?
Yep.
Right. Emile, let's tell the people what is in store for them if they sign up and support us through our Patreon.
Sign up to our Patreon. It's at patreon.com/wrestling podcast. You'll get benefits, a lot of benefits, of course. Again, one of those is supporting us again and everything that we do. But you get to also join our Discord community where a lot is going on, especially in the last few days. But it's just overall fun there. It's fun. You just interact with us, interact with your fellow podcasts, share ideas, share memes, everything. You can talk to us about wrestling, but anything else as well. And you'll also get to enjoy the review content of the weekly wrestling shows, courtesy of me, Rowan, and Chino. So lahat na yun covered. Every major wrestling weekly show na meron, we have a review for it. And doon sa Pasabays, which the last one just got done a few weeks ago. So if you are part of our Patreon program, you get some preferential rates, of course, courtesy of being a patron. And again, like I said earlier, if you subscribe to our Patreon, you're supporting the things that we do here, and reason why this show is going strong on its 10th year. So it's at patreon.com/wrestling podcast. We're still at $5.
All right. Yun, maraming ganap. Well, we hope to see you guys there. We're also celebrating our 10th anniversary, but we'll get into that after or after WrestleMania. Kasi it's magkadikit siya, actually. We're celebrating the 10th anniversary on WrestleMania week. So it's been 10 years. So we'll talk about that eventually. All right. Let's get to the wrestling talk. Maraming ganap. First, we just had Revolution this morning. We're recording on Monday, March 4. And Revolution just happened. And that means Sting's last match happened kanina. And they won. They retained the championship So this is what I was saying about how Tony Khan really tries to buck tradition. Because, he does it. He doesn't want to do what everyone else is doing. Because, syempre, bata siya, so he has to do it different. So Sting and Darby Allin retain their AEW Tag Team Championships. Normally, when somebody's retiring or leaving, they lose, and then somehow Tony Khan was able to talk Sting into retaining the championship and not losing on his way out. So they retired as champions, and now the championship has been vacated, and they'll probably announce a tournament to crown a new tag team champion. So let's get this out of the way first. Syempre, Sting has retired finally. A proper retirement, a proper send-off, as opposed to yung unfortunate injury niya in 2015, right? So what did you think of this send-off for Sting, Emile? Was it the best one that they did, or was it a good one?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's probably the best one that any other legend ever had, probably since Shawn in 2010. And I like how TK really went big time with Sting's retirement, and we actually predicted nga na he's gonna lose it. Pero when after the match, I was okay. You know what? I'm okay with Sting retiring as a champ. Like pulling a Peyton Manning here, winning still being the champion at the end of his career. And again, everything was perfect. From the announcement of the send-off, and then nagkaroon talaga siya ng farewell run. Which, in wrestling, you can't really say that everyone had. Even the greats, I think, never had a farewell run as good as Sting. Like, diba, if you name guys like The Undertaker, he had so many years to have a farewell run, but he never really. Although The Undertaker also got to finish his career in a good note, but it isn't as great as Sting, which he main evented a pay per view, and then it was a celebration of his career. Ganun talaga. And then God, that was perfect. That was really perfect. Like, I di ko naabutan yung prime ni Sting, but even I felt emotional after Revolution.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't feel that much for it because I wasn't a Sting fan growing up. Hindi ko naabutan yung WCW run. I didn't watch the TNA run. It's that was the accessible point of the TNA run, but I didn't watch TNA regularly that time because it was really tough to watch TNA, both accessibility wise and yung quality wise. Yeah, I didn't think much of the WWE run. Like, yeah, Sting is a legend, but he did not capture my imagination. It just is the way it is. I'm not taking anything away from him. I understand how iconic he is, but it wasn't resident for me. And that's not, an indictment or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's just a reflection of who I watched back then. Diba? So, but it is crazy though that he has almost 40 years of experience, active in the ring. Siyempre may times na inactive siya, but going strong for 40 years with no major injuries, not crippled or anything. Probably doesn't have CTE or anything. He's not mentally injured or anything. So that's pretty good. And that's an end to a career that a lot of wrestlers only dream of. We want to ride off into the sunset healthy, being able to walk, coherent and comfortable in life. Diba? So Sting got a good ending, and I really like that for him. I'm sure he was against the idea of winning to end his career, diba? I'm sure he was just talked into that. He's as old school as it can get. Alam ko, akala ko hindi sila main event, diba? But again, Tony Khan does different things because he's young. He's a disruptor in the game. So it is what it is. A lot of people have fond memories of Sting. A lot of people have been little stingers back in the day, back when they were kids. It just wasn't me, but I'm happy for everyone who gets to watch a final match, a retirement match that wasn't shitty.
Oh yeah.
That one guy in the match, he had a retirement match. And it was pretty embarrassing, and that was not this match, so that's pretty good. Congratulations, Sting, on a long career, on a healthy senior stage in life, and a great send off where he looked like he still belonged, even if he was technically already a senior citizen. So, maraming salamat, Sting, for your. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Do you have a favorite Sting? I know you said
I don't.
okay.
So I don't know. I just
don't. I just want to shout out his I'm sure ito rin yung mas natatandaan ng mga ka-age ko.
Oh.
His debut in WWE back in 10 years ago actually.
Yeah.
Back in WWE.
Jesus Christ, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Kasi I know you said there was a teaser, but I really remember.
Yeah, wala pala, my bad. I was thinking of the WWE 2K teaser video. So yung pala yun.
Pero there wasn't anything at that point. I was following the dirt sheets na by this point.
Yeah.
And talagang wala. And then it was napaka-fitting pa because he interfered. He came in one of probably the best Survivor Series matches in the last 20 years. That Team Cena versus Team Authority match. And he came in, sobrang gulat na gulat yung mga tao. And, the follow-up of it wasn't that good kasi they had Sting losing his first WWE match, which was a bummer. But that moment alone, that was pretty freaking cool. And doon ko nakita, okay, this is how cool Sting is. Na, kakarating niya pa lang, but people already went nuts for him.
Yeah, it was big. Pero yeah, it was one of those things that you never thought would happen, and then Vince ruined it for everyone. And sayang, I wish he could have had another try post Vince, but ito na. Actually, what I didn't like was that WWE didn't have anything to say. TNA had a nice message for Sting. I mean, it was actually a ploy to get people to subscribe to TNA Plus, but it's better than nothing, I would say.
Yeah.
At least nag happy retirement message to them. WWE did not. Like that's
I think only Cody did some
yeah,
sort of
diba?
tweet, diba? And Punk.
Ang immature naman. Like I thought Triple H wouldn't be or would be above the whole the company rivalry thing. Like you don't even associate Sting with AEW really, diba?
Yeah, no.
So alam mo yun, yes, Sting is with AEW now, but everyone knows him for his WCW work, diba? Even his TNA work, diba? It's not he's not really an AEW entity. So parang it would have been a nice thing to have a quick message diba, for him, celebrate his retirement. I mean, there's still time to do it, like tomorrow on Raw or it's Friday on Smack. Sana gawin nila kasi ang petty naman kung di nila gawin kasi I think they did that for Muta by inducting him in the Hall of Fame. But Sting was also a part of the WWE, and by extension, because they bought WCW, he is part of the WWE. So parang I want them to acknowledge Sting kasi Sting is universal in the business at this point. And to deny the fans, an acknowledgement of Sting on your program just because he's with AEW, that sucks.
Yun nga, there was this video package now shown earlier for Sting, like before the match. Parang there were clips of his yung Surfer Sting era, and then after that, parang there was a gap.
Yeah.
Like ang sunod na footage na nung nag-debut na. So parang like, where's the Crow era, diba?
Oh yeah,
on that video package.
Jesus,
parang wala eh. So
that's
sad. Yeah.
Sayang wala man lang ang TNA na. TNA footage.
It's
not like WWE owns that stuff as well, right? Yeah. All right. So let's move on to Revolution since we've already started talking about Revolution as well. Tawag doon, what did you think of wala naman masyadong big movements, big anything. The biggest movement other than Sting retiring is Kyle O'Reilly finally being cleared to return. He's back. He's challenging the Undisputed Kingdom. Adam Cole's not there, but so yung proxy na is Roderick Strong. And the whole segment, the way they did it after the match was kind of underwhelming kasi walang action na nangyari. But I think we're just happy to see Kyle O'Reilly back. What do you think of this?
I'm happy. Like, again, I'm a big fan of the Undisputed Era, and I'm a big fan of Kyle O'Reilly. So I'm good with this. I'm happy now after 2 years he's back. He's healthy and he's clear to compete again. Yung pagkakaintindi ko na sa segment earlier is that yes, he is boys with Roderick Strong kasi nga they had a history, but he doesn't really like the Kingdom. And that's going to be the story moving forward. Na he is boys with 2/3 of the Undisputed Kingdom, but he doesn't like the others. So, but I think eventually it will lead to a match between Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. I think that's where this thing is headed. But yeah, I'm just excited that he's back, and I really wish the entire four members of the old Undisputed Era could have been in AEW, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I'm just glad that Kyle is back.
Yeah, I was happy that they booked him as a face. I really enjoyed Kyle O'Reilly as a face because he has he's cool Kyle. So talagang bagay sa kanya maging baby face. He's easygoing, he's charismatic, he's lighthearted, light-humored. And it's so easy to get behind him. And I like that they're not shoehorning him into the Kingdom, the Undisputed Kingdom. Kasi, mas kupa talaga si Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. And the group has faltered a little bit because Cole is still injured. And they had to wrap up the MJF story. But I think this might be able to give them the boost that they need. I hope Adam Cole comes back for it because syempre, if I'm Adam Cole, diba, I'm gonna see that my boy Kyle O'Reilly is back and he's not aligning with my group. So, I'd have something to say about that. And I think that's where the fireworks can start ulit. So, so makita yun. All right. Anything else from Revolution that you wanted to react to?
No, I just want to say Revolution was a stacked card from beginning to end. Like parang walang tapon for me eh. Like every match from beginning, because I watched it live earlier. From beginning to end, the opener match was the TNT title match. And from then, pero yun nga yung isang problema ng AEW, yung pacing eh. Kasi if every match is going to be a great match, you don't let the crowd have a breather. So parang ganun din. Like at the middle, there's a dull moment in the middle of the card where like medyo nakakapagod na because you've been watching wrestling for an hour and a half. But they picked it up kasi they buti na lang, they placed the great matches right by the end. And I think most of that are picks for that we're gonna talk about. So yun lang muna yung sasabihin ko.
Yeah, I mean, dati pa naman sakit ng AEW to. Tony Khan just likes good wrestling, so he'll have his good wrestlers wrestle. And that's also what Triple H has done for NXT. But the thing with Triple H is that at least he kept the card small, like 5, 6 at the pinaka, yung pinaka marami niyang matches. But ito, TK knows that if people want good wrestling, who cares if you're tired at the end? Who cares if you're tired by hour 4 because of all the work rate action that you got? Yeah, that's what they like. It. That's what drives the company forward. And even if, not everyone likes that kind of thing, not everyone likes that kind of approach, it does work. And it's like how it was back in Vince's WWE that the story could be messy and all that, but as long as the wrestlers are good, they're the most elite in the industry and they're at the top of their game, so they'll wrestle their asses off. The pay-per-views are gonna be good. So yun yung nangyari. So it's one of those things. That's why I wasn't so bummed about not being able to catch it live. I realized that mas gusto kong panoorin yung AEW pay-per-views on my pace and on my order. Like I want to pick and choose which matches I want to watch first, so that I don't feel tired by the time I watch the match I want to watch or the match that I was looking forward to. It's unorthodox because it's not the same as a live experience, so it kind of skews your opinion toward a particular show if you watch it out of order. So it is what it is. And if you're an AEW fan, if you like the work rate stuff, I know we have some listeners here who don't care about the storytelling so much. You just like the action. That's fine, I guess. A lot of us go through that phase as well. So it's there's something for everyone. There's a market for you, diba? And that's what Tony Khan is catering to. Other than that, wala masyadong bago eh, no? No status quo changing championship.
I think in the pre-show, Pac has announced he's going to return. I guess aside from that, wala masyado. Yeah. Wala title changes eh.
Yeah, this is really good wrestling. It's like good wrestling.
Walang title. I just noticed now there wasn't any title changes on today. Oh no, Roddy. That's the only one. That's the only title change.
Yeah, but that was expected na rin. Like we predicted that, and it was time because Orange Cassidy was in his second championship run.
Yeah.
All right. Before we talk about this last Friday's episode of SmackDown, it's pretty huge as well. The first half hour of it, the first hour, I believe, was pretty huge. Let's get to a quick break first and hear from our fellow podcasts on the Pod Network.
Do you feel lost, doubting yourself, and tired? You question your worth and existence? Well, I'm here for you. Hey, this is Gailey Chavez, and I'm the host of Free Yourself Podcast. My podcast talks about self-love, self-discovery, and growth. This is for everyone who wants to live their fullest life and become the person that they could be. Let me help out and remind you that this is your life, your path, that you are not broken and you are worth it. Catch me every Friday at 8 p.m. See ya!
All right, we are back. AEW happened, but WWE also happened. Syempre, you can't go gentle into that good night. And WWE had SmackDown last Friday, and it's The Rock show again. So The Rock is appearing only on SmackDown. Diba? And they had if you cut down the commercials, it was a 30 or so minute long opening segment featuring the entire bloodline. And so the quick important points there are first, The Rock sees Cody's challenge and counters it with a tag team match, which is the match that we wanted to see. When ever since the press event happened a couple of weeks ago, diba? It was the Rock now challenges Cody Rhodes and his girlfriend Seth Rollins versus himself and Roman Reigns. So that's for night one. If Cody accepts the challenge, which I'm sure he will. Like I say, that's how you get The Rock on the show, diba? If Cody and Seth win, diba? If I'm correct, the bloodline will be banned from ringside.
Yep.
Yes,
that's it.
And if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, syempre pwede pa rin mag-interfere. So
it's gonna be it's gonna be bloodline rules.
Right.
I don't know what he means by that.
Solo can sing the national anthem, right? Yeah, it's bloodline rules for the main event ng night 2.
Yeah.
Probably
a no DQ. That's probably.
So we won't predict that yet because we'll get to that when we get closer to the show. But eto na hinihingi natin kasi ito yung tinisa rin ng press event eh. So are you satisfied with this development first? Kasi this is the first development.
Oh yeah, definitely. When Cody announced the challenge at the Elimination Chamber, I thought, okay, but this is not what I wanted. I want the tag match, and I knew we're gonna get it eventually. I knew because it makes sense because The Rock is the guy in power, and he can make these decisions. He can make these matches, and I'm happy that we're gonna get this. We've been fantasy booking this since the press event, we're gonna get. It looks like both Cody and Roman are gonna pull double duty here at Mania, or even Seth. I think. Nga pala, kasi may match pa pala siya with Drew. So all three of them are gonna pull double duty at WrestleMania. So
yeah, that's what I was saying about. Like that's what I said last week. Okay, you got all the star power, and then now they're threatening to take over the top of the card. So yeah, there 3 of them will be pulling double duty. So that's interesting, but it's the 40th WrestleMania, so you got to go big, unless you got to go, or else you got to go home. Which leads me to my next point. You mentioned something that happened, and The Rock essentially invoked yung status niya, yung position niya as the board member, a member of the board ng TKO. So he said in the promo that he's the boss. Cody works for him. And that kind of establishes him as this generation's Vince McMahon. No, kasi that is Vince. So, and before that, Vince hadn't been the on-screen authority figure screwing people over. So we're going back to this trope, but this time it's The Rock. And it's funny because 20 or so years ago, 25 years ago, diba, he was siya yung tuta ni Vince nung Attitude Era. So it's interesting and also fitting na rin na The Rock is the guy to continue that legacy of being the boss. So I want to ask you, is this something we need for the Cody story? Because I feel like, because it now also makes Cody this generation Steve Austin. What do you think of this? Did you catch that? Did you catch that parallel when you watched the segment?
I will stand by my statement na The Rock's involvement was not needed. I will stand by that.
No. No. Sige, we're past that. We're past that.
Yeah.
Ito na eh. Ginawa na
I know.
Kumabig na sila. And then now The Rock is the boss. He's Vince McMahon. So do you think this is a role that suits him? And do you think that this is a role that we need now, especially when we know that Triple H is never going to be Vince McMahon because now he's like the face boss that everyone wanted.
Oh yeah, definitely. Kasi for the reasons that you said, like Triple H, as much as he's like, he's been a heel most of his life, he really can't play the heel boss now because we all know it's not gonna return to any wrestling of some sort anytime soon. So I'm glad that The Rock fits into that role really well. Like I can't believe na but I can believe that I will like it and I will parang okay bagay to and I can actually get behind with Rock being the new Vince figure in WWE. Pero syempre di naman siya he's not gonna be there like every week. He's not gonna be there every month kasi we know how much busy he is in real life. So you know what? At this point, just to add on to the Cody story, why not?
It's
Why
interesting
not?
to see kasi may isa pa yung aspect which I'll get to in a bit. I just wonder if they plan this part now or talagang they just luck into it kasi okay, boss na ako eh. I kind of own WWE now, so we might as well bring it back. And it's funny because I don't think anyone ever expected or anyone ever had The Rock being Vince as part of their bingo cards. So let's move to the third point that I wanted to talk about. So that segment was long. It was really, really long, and it had another chapter to close it out. So before the segment ended, The Rock was trying to do his usual "if you smell shtick." Then Roman stopped him. Tapos Roman said that he wanted The Rock to acknowledge him, and then The Rock eventually did. And then it was kind of weird kasi parang hindi siya mukhang happy. He didn't sound happy saying that I acknowledge you as my tribal chief. So first, I want to ask you, Emile, what did you think of all of that? Did you think it was him playing along to Roman Reigns
Oh
with Roman
yeah,
Reigns?
definitely. I was actually waiting for this moment ever since they teamed up nung press event. Like at some point, Roman's gonna feel like he's been parang naiitsapwera na siya ni The Rock. And again, that the ending of that segment was perfect because they addressed that fact. They addressed that elephant in the room. And parang sinabi ni Roman na for him to get behind all of this, I need, parang gusto niya ng assurance kay The Rock. Parang gano'n. Kasi kung wala siyang assurance, parang he's not gonna agree to everything Rock's gonna do. So it's definitely on brand to the Tribal Chief character na you have to acknowledge me. Even though alam naman natin na Rock is siya yung basta susunod on that crew rather than Roman. So Rock has been making all the decisions ever since he stepped into the bloodline. So may nasa-sense na ni Roman eh. That's why he needed that. He needed that assurance from The Rock that yes, tribal chief pa rin ako. And The Rock he's playing Roman here. Like ever since the start of all this thing. That's why I predicted nung press event na he's eventually gonna screw Roman Reigns. And I think it's gonna be as soon as after the main event or even during the main event of
Yeah.
WrestleMania. That's when it's gonna happen because it's probably gonna set up another year's worth of storyline heading into WrestleMania next year, where they could finally have that one-on-one match without anyone being mad that they're getting a one-on-one match.
So The Rock is going to be a dick to someone. It's either really going to be Cody or Roman. So I wanted to ask you, which one is the more compelling feud? Is it The Rock versus Cody or The Rock versus Roman? And in both cases, The Rock is the boss, the boss that is fighting their employee.
Definitely the Rock versus Roman. That's the more intriguing one. But I do feel like in order for us to get there, we need to get to this first, which is the finishing the story, The Rock versus Cody. So yun. That mas ma-intrigue yun, pero I also want them to wrap this up first with a clear resolution dun sa story ni Cody before they can move on fully to The Rock and Roman. Kasi magmumukhang kawawa si Cody if they focus in on Rock versus Roman without him having the resolution to his 2-year-long story, di ba? So, para mag-benefit lahat, so patapusin mo na yung story ni Cody, and then that's when you start to build up to what you want, which is Rock versus Roman.
Ang naisip ko lang is we're kind of back into a corner here because I don't want Cody to win on night 2 because The Rock screwed Roman over kasi hindi nawala yung ano niya, di ba? Nawala na yung entire reason niya, the effort that he put into crawling back from defeat last year and then winning this year. Kasi all he needed was The Rock to win finally, and that's the shittiest way to win actually.
No,
so
but
I hope.
If you would harken back to when he was introduced, diba, Cody said na he needed help.
He needed help. Yeah.
So I
don't want The Rock to help. I don't want The Rock to lay out Roman himself. Like I want The Rock to get rid of the help that Roman will have.
Okay.
Diba? Kasi let's say no DQ yan. So nandiyan na sila lahat. Diba?
Yep.
Kaya ganun. So ayoko sanang mangyari na The Rock lays out Roman Reigns with a rock bottom of the people's elbow, and then Cody comes in to steal the pin, and that's how he wins. Even when Eddie won the championship from Brock Lesnar, he still had to put Brock away with a DDT to the belt and a frog splash. So I hope that they figure something out. Okay, anything else? Dakota Kai turned on Bailey finally. Let's talk about that.
I thought that was way too soon because they just reestablished the relationship between Bailey and Dakota. Like even though I predicted yes, she will screw Bailey, I thought that's gonna happen when we get close to WrestleMania or at WrestleMania. Not this soon. Nagulat ako na it was this soon. Probably, I think this is probably because Dakota is really not yet really cleared to compete. That's why they had to do this angle. Pero nagulat lang ako kasi it's been 2 weeks. Since they just reestablished the face turn, tapos yung pala heel pa rin si Dakota.
Yeah, I would have waited a couple more weeks. Like, yes, pwede mo sabihin na, okay, we all saw this coming kasi we could all, connect the dots, and Bailey herself was aware that Dakota wasn't really was also kind of bashing her behind her back, diba? So I felt like that they rushed that. So the only reason I'm thinking of na ginawa nila ngayon is because there's something else happening closer to WrestleMania that is similar. So that maybe The Rock turning on Roman Reigns. So they probably want to space that out. So sayang lang. But at least we got there. At least that one na hindi ka ginagago ng Triple H. Kasi when he makes it clear that this is happening a while back, they'll really honor that continuity, when they get to the future. So hindi nila binaliwala na okay, kasama si Dakota sa pambubuli nilang kay Bailey, diba? So I enjoy that little bit, and it tells me again, it reinforces my faith in Triple H's creative storytelling in this era. Right. Anything else you wanted to react to from SmackDown?
Because everything on SmackDown got cut because of that.
Oh yeah.
Got the 15-minute Bloodline promo. I remember people actually complaining that Naomi versus Stephanie, parang, they didn't get justice because of Rock going.
But it was good.
Too long. It was good. It was good for what it is. But people wish it would have been longer.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think we're only gonna get that till WrestleMania, and after that, it will be normal scheduled programming for SmackDown.
Kung hindi nangyari yung Revolution today, I probably would have picked Tiffy versus Naomi because it was pretty good.
Yep.
All right. This has run a little too long, so we'll cut it here, and we will give you the picks of the week in tomorrow's episode. So let's end it really quickly. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning into our weekend reactions. Maraming nangyari this weekend, so maraming reactions. You can follow us over at Wrestling2X Pod on Twitter and TikTok, at Wrestling Podcast on Instagram and Threads, at the Wrestling Podcast on Facebook. My co-hosts are available at Emile_Meister on Twitter, @_StanC for Stan, @Chino Supersize for Chino, @Monday Night Rowan, that's NITE for Rowan ASH, and myself @Roiswar on Twitter, @Shang.Daddy on Instagram and Threads. If you want to debate me on wrestling, we'll do that. I got time. I got the time. And but I'm gonna, if you have comments, we'll take it, and we'll talk about wrestling. So this has been another episode of the Wrestling Podcast. Thank you so much to our production and management team. Babyface producer Jasper is the one producing this. Riza has been managing us behind the scenes, and to the good boys and girls of the Pod Network for making us happy, for bringing the podcast to you and bringing your favorite wrestling talk to you. We'll see you guys at the WrestleMania viewing party, April 7 and 8. Again, tinyurl.com/WrestleMania40PH. It's easy to spell. You can find it, and we'll see you guys there. Until then, guys, I know that you want to, get some more of this wrestling talk. Please stay safe, stay healthy, be nice to each other. Do not be a dick. Wrestling Podcast out. Later, Outcast. Peace.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.